And sauce. I'm live. I'm ready when you are.
All right. Hey, what's up, everyone? Happy Tuesday. This is BTC Jack Sparrow, joined here today by Don. You're watching Don and Jack live. How are you doing, Don?
I'm doing great, man. Happy Tuesday. How about yourself? How you doing?
Excited because
excited.
Let's get it. Let's be straight. I'm excited because one, I got my new king size mattress today, which is going to be super awesome.
For the king.
It's only a couple of days out, and then I'm flying to Consensus on Saturday. And then Consensus is about to kick off like into Sunday, Monday. So we're going to be doing our live stream from New York City next week. How awesome is that?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. I'll be at Consensus there as well.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet with the rest of the crew. We saw each other in Chicago last year, so it's been a while. So for next week, guys, we're gonna do a little giveaway. There's gonna be you'll be able to win free Bravado VIP for 1 month if you are able to answer a few questions based on this episode and the last episode. So episode 8 and 9 are the episodes you want to watch. We're gonna ask a few questions, and whoever has the most answers right will be in the prize pool, and we'll pick a random person who wins 1 Bravado VIP. We'll do the same with RT and She's with their live stream. So yeah, stoked for that, and make sure you watch this week, next week, and last week's episode. Is there anything else you want to add before we jump in?
No, I think you cleared house. You did a nice job. I'm looking forward to our live stream in New York. That's going to be fun.
I mean, we need to find a nice place and
yeah,
to do it, preferably like on top floor somewhere in a nice lounge, and then yeah. All right, well, maybe let's just dive in.
Let's just dive in. Yeah,
we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. Obviously, Bitcoin has been ripping in the last couple of weeks, and we also have the idea that there might be some alt opportunities coming to live pretty soon. So we're gonna do ETHBTC, we're gonna do BTC/USD, and then we're probably gonna go through all the BitMEX majors. And if you guys have any requests, we might do 1 or 2 if we have time left. So please put them in the chat box, and we'll get back to them later. Let's see. Requires that one live pretty soon, so we're gonna so I think the most important chart for BTC/USD here, guys, is this one. This is the lower time frame I've been using. Usually I have this chart on the 4-hour, but I wanted to have a little bit more space, so now it's the 8-hour. Doesn't really matter, the same applies to it. And what we're currently seeing on BTC/USD is something that could get really, really ugly really fast for bears. I mean, we're at a crucial pivot. Let me put it that way. We could come down here. We could have a fake out of this diagonal. Usually, I don't trade diagonals, but they do tell you something about the acceleration of trend. And when we're drawing this ascending broadening wedge that we talked about last week, so make sure you have a look at last week's episode. We're having an ascending broadening wedge, which has a 50-50 chance of breakout upwards or down. And usually when it breaks down, it will revisit this. I'd say it's the genesis, the start of the wedge. And it's a level that needs to hold to remain any bullishness for 6, 7, 8, whatever K, if it comes down here right now. And so we had 1 touch down here, a 2nd touch down here, and then a 3rd touch down here. And on the top of it, we've had 4 touches. And currently we're breaking out of it, which in my opinion is very bullish. Let me draw a little rectangle of something that increases the odds of an ascending broadening wedge breaking upwards a lot. Is when you have had your 3rd touch on the bottom trend line, which was here, and then you reclaim and close above your previous swing high right here, and then you hold that level, and then you break out of the trend line. Those are really the key components for an ascending broadening wedge being able to break out. And I mean, there is something to be measured. There's something to be said where the target of these ascending broadening wedges are, and it's you know, not super accurate, but it gives you an idea of what's possible. Generally, you grab the first swing low of your bottom trend line, which is $850, and then we're just going to add that to at least our second to last swing high, which is here. So if we
that was a mitigation block too that we held up, right? That you did point out.
I wouldn't say, yeah, I mean, it could be a mitigation block. I'm not so sure yet. This was a perfect mitigation block right here. Okay. As there were still some shorts open from here. If there were any shorts open from here, I would assume they were gone by the time we actually broke through here. But it could be definitely a mitigation block. I'm still developing my theory around mitigation blocks, how big money gets in and out of certain shorts they use to push price down in a certain accumulation or consolidation range. And so it's not 100% concise yet. I'm still learning on that part. But yeah, so this gives us a target, a conservative target of this ascending broadening wedge at 6,450. And 6,450 is a level that
I have some influence there.
I mean, there is a chart somewhere here. All right, here, this chart is super cluttered, busy chart. I'm sorry to bother with you guys with that, but essentially, Bitcoin has been in an Elliott wave. You could argue that if we zoom all the way up, that the wave 3 started here at $70,000, and wave 3 concluded at $3,100. Usually you'll see a retrace of such a wave as a wave 4 right here, and a very logical target of that is the 0.236 Fibonacci retrace of that move. So that sits at 6,452, and 6,452 also happens to be a hotspot in our volume. So there's been a lot of volume exchange on Bitcoin before we broke down around that same level. So there's definitely a lot of trading that was done there, and whoever was long from that level and still held might be closing. If there's any shorts still open from that level, for example, if you're a miner and you hedge yourself short against any downside of Bitcoin, you might actually be opening. So there's a very interesting level. And then there is all this liquidity above it. So that's why I do think that 6K needs to be broken. At least test the liquidity up there. So that's my opinion. That's why I think that we're going through 6K. And there might be a lot of other people who are saying that, and people on Twitter say like, well, if everyone's saying 6K is going to be broken, it's never going to happen. I don't use Twitter sentiment. I use charts and analysis, and this is just a very possible possibility. And I'm definitely not looking for shorts yet until I see any signs of bearishness. And we haven't. I mean, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher highs, higher highs. It's really simple, guys. And that makes me think that once we get our rejection, then we're going to start filling gaps below. I think that we're going to fill this gap, this blue gap. As you can see in the volume profile, there's a gap here. There's a gap down here as well. It might get filled later on, but not straight away from here. And it would be my dream scenario to be long in Bitcoin again from anywhere above 4 to 4.5, 4.7K. I mean, that would be just, beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, we're already up here. There's certainly a lot of liquidity that needs to be taken out, no doubt, at that 6,400 region. I think 64. You got 6,455. Now on the short side, how are you playing that? Like, are you just waiting for further confirmation? And once we get a breakdown by the retest, how are you playing the bearish side of that?
Well, let's first focus on taking profit on the longs. A lot of people kind of, they're thinking like we're reaching into a resistance level, and that means that you have to flip short straight away. Big money is long, so the first thing they will be doing is closing their longs, and that means that they will push price at least a second time into around those highs that you'll be forming, where eventually you'll get rejected. So what is very likely is that we'll see like a steep sell-off that will eventually retrace partially back into the high that you're forming. And I mean, it's hard to tell from here exactly how that will play out, but I would assume that you, for example, could be breaking the 6544 level, or maybe even like the 6.8 level, and then you come down, and then you're probably gonna use another SR level, another horizontal level to bounce off of, and then you're probably going to do it a third time, and maybe even a fourth time, slightly lower and lower. Basically a consolidation, and at that point it should be clear. You can analyze the volume, and that's where I'll be hedging short. So I'm willing to miss a part of that short just to see confirmation. I just want to see an important swing low to be broken, or at least or a very, very clear
distribution,
bearish spring. I want to see distribution, because if let's say we get to 6.5k or 7k or whatever, I'm going to be playing a very slow short that's going to probably retrace to at least 4.7k. So I mean, not getting it at 6.8, but maybe getting in at 6.5 or 6.2.
Right.
It's reasonable, because I'll be trading it down here, and that's going to be plenty of profit. So, it doesn't make sense. People learn to not catch falling knives during the bear market, and somehow right now they're trying to short flying rockets, which doesn't make sense to me.
Trying to short flying rockets. That's a good one.
Yeah, don't short flying rockets. And then honestly, look at it, 5930, baby. It's still trying. And I mean, if you look at, I love tensor charts a lot, and this breakout was imminent. Like you can see right here, just pure price action. You see that price is soaring. It just market buying, and then it just retraces sideways, consolidates. Then you have this dump here, but what happens after is that it gets reclaimed. The fact that this wasn't acting as resistance just shows you that this was profit taking. This was not bearish selling. This was just hey, I got a bunch of BTC that I just want to take profit off, because I cannot take profit off all at once if I have a lot of money in BTC. And then you see another run up, it consolidates, it reclaims the VWAP right here. There's not a lot of volume. There's a little breakout, and then you can just continue. And we've been seeing this all the way up, and until something changes in those patterns, there's no way to be bearish. And I'm really sorry for all those bears out there, but that's really how it is. Like literally on the daily, if you look at this green line, it's the cumulative volume delta, which kind of shows us if it goes up, that means that there's more market buying than market selling. And look at this freaking thing. This thing has only been going up during the entire bear market. So people are buying, and I'm if big money is buying, I'm not going to sell them yet.
Yeah.
Patience is name of the game. That's one thing I've learned, and I'll be patient. Very patient.
No question about that.
What's your thought here? What's
quickly? I could share my screen. I'll keep it a little bit more simple here for you guys.
Meanwhile, I'll just have a look at YouTube.
Next guy. All right, cool. Yeah, we've seen price deviate obviously from this reaccumulation range. We created a new range, kind of few ranges that I have here. So we got some liquidity that wasn't taken out on the sell side. What I'm focused on here, hold on, let me get rid of this. It's in my way. All right, what I'm focused on here, there was a daily bullish block that we, held market structure here for a while. We, bounced back to 8K, came back down, bounced again back to 7. We consolidated a little bit above this, and then we had a clean break and close below, right? This was that daily block that held us up. Its equilibrium is 59995, so 6K, and I'm assuming that we're gonna get there, no question. Looks like it, right? We just broke out of this intra range here. Let me zoom in here on the 4 hour. Should be more of an hourly range. But yeah, what I'm looking for, we just broke out of this range. We're more than likely going to go tap 6K. Probably going to cause some just resistance there. There's oh, my computer wants to blow up. Some liquidity highs at 6406, which is confluent with Jack's analysis at 6455 roughly. This seems likely, in my opinion. If we do get a breakthrough of 6K, 6406 looks like the reasonable target. I know me and Jack spoke, having those, what would you say, 6850 was your sell target? Just to see if we get a wick up there?
I got my orders in there to fully close any BTC long, any leverage I have currently.
Yeah.
Because there is a gap between 6.8 and 7. And I might, if we have time, I might show that, how that works.
Yeah. So like, here's my one line. At 68.96, I will sell majority of my BTC. I don't think that's a monthly equilibrium that's going to cause our biggest resistance. And I'll show you where I got that. So here's this big guy. Oh, let's delete this. Here's this big guy right here. It's a clear move where we actually, got us to 3K. This was the up move before the down move. This is going to cause some resistance. 68.96 looks likely to be the one spot where there's going to be heavy sellers, and they're going to step in and take this price back to 4K or wherever they want. But that's where I'm looking at. 68.50, 68.90 is the area of my region where I believe the majority of my BTC will go to USD, and then I'll wait and sit sideline for the time being. That's kind of it on my end. I kept it very basic. I'm looking for the 6K to get a clean break and close above on the lower time frame. From a high time frame perspective, I did mention that I'm leaning slightly bear. I know I am bullish on this. I think there is going to be a move to 6406, but I think that's just about it. And then the bears are going to kick in and kick this thing down. So just stay focused on the big picture. Don't think this thing's going to go straight to 10K, guys. Take profits on this way up. We've been a part of this market for a little while now. So just stay focused on the big picture. Jack, you got anything else on BTC?
Not really. I mean, I could continue showing you guys a lot of other things that I find comfortable with. There's literally an infinite list of things that add to my bias right now. Yeah. We have Llama Trades in the chat asking why we're trading ETHBTC instead of ETHUSD. So I might want to, maybe that's a nice segue into ETHBTC.
You want to go?
And Nimesh Kumar is saying, BTC Jack Sparrow, Guruji, love from India. Well, thank you guys. Love you. Crypto Super Ninja is saying that we hit 6K on Binance. Yes,
that's great
for sure, guys. Crypto.live loves Tensor charts, and Kelvin is asking, "What's up, my guys?" Well, we're doing really well. The bear market is turning into a bull, perhaps, and we've been long on that. So yeah, we're doing good. Thanks for that. Yeah, let's just jump into ETHBTC because that's a trade we've taken actually.
We've taken that trade.
ETHBTC. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, and we could probably explain a little bit further. When ETHBTC moves, what it does to the market and everything normally. It's kind of in a perfect place right now, especially where Bitcoin's at. If we do see a top come out on Bitcoin, I do think Ethereum is going to make the next move, especially moving some of their BTC profits into Ethereum USD. Ethereum BTC. Apologize. Go ahead.
I mean, let's first start off with how BTC looked like and how the bottom of BTC looked like. I'm quickly going to chart it live. This is simply, it's a bottom pattern, and it's one that you should really pay attention to. So this is BTC USD. BTC broke down from the 6K range and started to come down. It had a really nice bounce here, showing that some shorts were getting closed, and then we traded further down. And what is important to notice here is that we had this consolidation right here. All right.
Looks crazy.
So basically, this thing consolidated and came to a level. I'm on my laptop, guys, so bear with me. I'm on my trackpad. It doesn't work as nicely as the desktop. But basically, right here, this consolidation came to kind of an end, and it broke down. But this was a fake out. It swept these lows right here, and then it started to move viciously. So basically, this was your sign, especially retracing towards, like, a lot towards these levels here, that there was some kind of possible bullishness on BTC. And what's important to note is that right here, this had to hold. This was supposed to be resistance, but it was just ignored, and it was just smashed through. So basically, essentially, what happened is that there was this support here. It broke down. It had to be resistance. It wasn't. And usually, when that happens with a lot of force, you got a long when it comes down. And then let me show you how that works with the FIP retracement. Just slightly like this. It kind of retraced like 80%, and an 80% retrace is something that you should always pay attention to. It's the part in between, like, not dying, and also your most opportune moment to enter a trade. It's the best discount you're going to get in a market if it doesn't continue south. Now let's jump back to ETHBTC. Just remember this chart, because it's gonna pay off. So here's ETHBTC. It's a 3-day chart, and ETHBTC, just like BTC USD, came trading down. Then it had a good rally, showing that shorts were getting closed, and then it started to come down, trade down, and then I'll have to zoom in on the daily probably to really show you this. There was this consolidation right here, which is the same consolidation pretty much as BTC had. It then broke down, retested it, came down, and then it kind of nuked it. Not as beautiful as BTC did, but it's definitely good enough. And this rally here, compared to Bitcoin, it actually made a new high. This showed that there was buyer's interest, and that there was a good opportunity, possibility that ETHBTC shorts were getting closed right here, and then accumulated longs here. And then we had this slow retrace down. So the price action here was a lot slower than it was here. And then look at where ETHBTC traded to. Let's just make 80% of this. Bam. So basically, as you can see, ETHBTC then bounced at that 80% level. It swept this low, and now it's reclaiming it, kind of. So if you look at the 1 hour, this is pretty much what it looks like, and this is this is the moment where you kind of want to enter. If you didn't enter here, I think this is it could wick down for sure. I mean, it could probably come as low as 291. It's not impossible. It could even come down and retest 288.
I like that low that you signaled there at 29,805. Price reclaims that low on a clean close and break, which it recently did on the daily. But if it's able to hold it on the higher time frame, I think it justifies a move up, no problem.
Yeah, no problem. And let me show you a little bit of secret sauce that I sometimes use on higher time frame. This is basically this indicator here is the bulls versus the bear strength, and if you can combine that with confluence of major levels, and this is obviously, to me, this looks like an accumulation, and this looks like the right shoulder of an inverse head and shoulders. So it's an important level. It is your most opportune moment to basically enter ETHBTC. And every time that ETHBTC crossed green, pretty much there was some very bullish price action. And when it turned red, it was time to sell. And so basically, you would have shorted here, you would have longed here, you would have shorted here, you would have longed here, you would have shorted here. So it might be the freaking time to long this baby, and I'm not really sure where it could be running to, but I'm pretty sure that we'll at least run above 0.04 if we actually bounce here, because we're at least going to take out this high then in that case. We already traded to this line, showing that bulls are back in control. So it should be no resistance no longer. So yeah, that's ETHBTC. Anything you want to add?
No, that was well said there. If we reclaim that most recent local low, which we currently are, I think a move to 0.0322 at the very least to even 0.04 is highly likely, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to answer the question why we're trading ETHBTC and not ETHUSD is, it's a simple fact that I think that it could be that Bitcoin is gonna see its last leg up right now, like soon.
Right. ETHUSD is the derivative of ETHBTC.
Yeah. So if BTC-USD comes down, ETHUSD will not perform as well percentage-wise as ETHBTC, and I'm playing a leveraged contract. So I want to be in ETHBTC because that's probably going to outperform ETHUSD, and I want to acquire as much BTC right now as possible before the end of the bear market, before we enter full bull. And if you look at ETHUSD, there might be less room to the upside than on ETHBTC. ETHBTC is literally at its bottom. If it goes below that 0.08, that 0.8 retrace level that we showed here, and it closes convincingly below it, it's dead. I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to short it, or at least not own any anymore. So literally, when you're talking about cycles, I think ETHBTC could be at the bottom of its cycle and start a new cycle upwards. And you know, like if it's really a good cycle, it's not going to stop at 0.04. And you know, like look at the length and the size of this base. This is an accumulation base potentially, and that's just bound to start trending and probably at least trade to half of the range, which is somewhere around here. You know, that's at 0.05, 0.06.
Yeah, once she gets moving, she's really going to move.
So this is a longer term play. This is not a play for tomorrow and not for the day after, but yeah.
Definitely. You want to jump into the next one?
There you go. For it.
Questions? I could jump into DCH.
TikTok Crypto is saying when new low because hyperwave tone is waiting, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with Tone. I'm gonna be honest with Tyler. I respect them both as traders. I currently think that they've married a certain bias, and we'll soon find out whether that's true or wrong. Because true or right, I don't know. Like, I could be wrong as well. Let's be honest. We're traders.
Right. Everyone could be wrong. But yeah, this is what I'm looking at on Bitcoin Cash. All right. So recently we had this big breakout, which we actually played. We took some profits. We're actually out of this complete position. Kind of reevaluating what's going on here as far as price action. We created a high, created a low. Currently trading below our low at 0.051. Correct. And if you look at this intra range that we've developed just below range low, look how clean this daily is. That we haven't got a daily close above this low, right? This is causing some heavy resistance. I'd anticipate, we took out this high in the intra range right here. We just took it out, boom, got swept. I anticipate, we're going to go take out these lows right here at 0.047. In doing so, I'd anticipate we do catch some lower demand. We get a sweep into demand, which would give us enough power and strength to, I'll go ahead and
are you bullish or are you bearish on the highest time?
On a higher time frame, I'm leaning bearish, but if we do reclaim this low, I'm going to flip bull. I'll tell you why here in a second. If we do reclaim this low, because this low is crucial for this structure. Where I'm trying to find my brush here. So if we do come down here, sweep this low, reclaim this low, and we reclaim this high time frame range low, I have no question that we'll go take out this EQ and go take out this high. It's you get what I'm saying there?
Yeah, I think this thing, I don't know. I'm neutral on Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah,
I couldn't really get a good read on it, and if I can't get a good read on it, for me personally, I just leave it and let it develop, and at some point I get a good read.
No question. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to read, but like I said, if you look at this weekly, I think more than likely, if we get a retest of this demand or sweep this low, that'll give us enough power to reclaim this 0.051. Once we reclaim 0.051, it's go time. We're going to 0.059, in my opinion.
I wouldn't be surprised though if it just, like
broke down. Yeah, if it broke down.
No. I wouldn't be surprised if this current consolidation is just a preparation to reclaim that zero VIP of yours.
Yeah.
And really close above it, and if that's the case, you're gonna
go price discovery.
You're I mean the other side of it then.
Okay.
Like the bottom side, I think it might actually reclaim that, and then that's not bad.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Right now, we're currently trading below this intra-range EQ of 0.049759, right? Like I said, we swept this high. Normally, when you see it in a range, we sweep the high, we go down and sweep the low, which there's some nice demand with below this range low. We get in there, reclaim, move up. It's very, very possible that this is some bullish, bullish move. Yeah.
We're about to print a higher high.
About to go take out this 6K. Yeah, for sure. That's it on Bitcoin Cash. I'm being patient. I have no position in Bitcoin Cash. I'm just looking for price to reclaim that low that we created, and we're currently trading below. I mean, it's not too bad. It doesn't look the worst, guys. It could be worse. But I'm approaching with caution because with current price action of Bitcoin and Ethereum, I do think Ethereum is going to be a better play. So just staying patient. This is the block that it's been having trouble with. Do you want to share anything about Bitcoin Cash, or do you want me to move on to Litecoin?
I'm going to jump into ADA because I think it's more valuable to get into a coin that I think that might be moving soon, because that's valuable to our audience. And honestly, I'm really bullish on ADA. I mean, this thing has calmed down so much, but the reason why I'm so bullish on it, it's forming a certain pattern that I really like. It reminds me of XLM from, I don't know when XLM did that crazy, like 10, 12x run against BTC, but I think that started somewhere in 2017. And so basically, this, like if you look at most of these other alts, they're sitting quite high considering their past price action, but ADA is sitting pretty low, and it's been retracing since January. It hasn't been really trending or claiming anything. If you look at Litecoin, for example, Litecoin has retraced like half of its ATA, which is incredible because it shows strength, but it also shows that there might be not that much room to the upside anymore.
No.
But if you look at XLM in 2017, I think it retraced all the way to something like 400 sats. And at the bottom, it started to consolidate, and then there was a high volume little pump. Like you had a test bump, consolidation, and then it kind of broke out this consolidation structure right here, and then it came back once more, but never broke the lows anymore. And then it started on this parabolic run that I think eventually led to like 6 or 7K sats on XLM. And that's something that I could see on ADA, as ADA has a lot of fundamental things coming up. I mean, they're slowly developing to a full mainnet, and this whole structure here kind of makes me think that it could do an XLM. And so aside from that, there's just 2 levels below us if it just doesn't bounce right here, where I where I'd be confident in taking a position in ADA, and it's simply the lows right here. Just sweep them. If you sweep them and reclaim it, buy it. And otherwise, so I'm gonna have orders not at these lows at 1,055, but I have orders just slightly above 1,000 sats. And why? That's because that was just like we had with Bitcoin and ETH currently, is that we had this consolidation, then a fake out breakout, and then a reclaim on heavy volume and price action strength. And then it started to run. Basically, coming back down there is a level where I cannot be anything else than a bull. And it's possible, I guess, to sweep these lows and then just tap the just like slightly front run 1,000 sats. You know, and then the upside is pretty decent. I think just like ETH, there is at least a 2x potential. I mean, you would at least at that moment probably trade to the previous swing high at 2,000 sats. So that is a 2x right there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting myself some action on that. I got ETHBTC currently. I'm taking profit on BTC, and I probably take more profit on BTC as BTC goes up, and then BTC is dumping.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely we're gonna see this. I mean, we're gonna continue to move up, move down, move up, move down. And same with Ethereum too. Just kind of like on the 12-hour, there's a clear 12-hour SFP. So I'd expect some downside, you know, at the very least at 165.70, but before we do move up. I mean, we didn't get a proper retest just yet. So, I mean, it's kind of expected in my opinion.
Yeah, and then we got EOS right here, which is a bit of a do or die scenario, I guess. We have this weekly level that really needs to hold, and it's right at it. Like the weekly level is at 8228, and I think we're trading at 8264 right now. I mean, there is some support down here that could help, but then it's probably going to bounce, and then it has to negotiate with that weekly resistance at that point again. So, not too fan of EOS right now. If it breaks down, it could be very ugly, and especially if it decides to trade all the way to these lows, because then literally what you're having is like a head and shoulders. And that's what you got to think, you know, like not a lot of these majors are all looking too good, but the ones that do might actually, you know, benefit from the ones who look really bad. A lot of these majors started to decouple in the last couple of months, so they kind of have their own trajectory. Throughout 2017, 2018, they would move in line with each other, so it was more speculative. But maybe now, because fundamentals are getting stronger, they start to move in their own direction, based of their fundamentals. So it's also a sign of this space maturing, I guess. Man, I wonder how many longs just got shook out.
Yeah, right.
Let's have a look. I have this beautiful chart. Not all that much. Let's see.
What do you guys think of OMG? Onyx is, yeah, it's called VPVR Onyx. His volume profile.
No, you're talking about PA and volume strength, which is a proprietary algorithm. It's the one that I showed on ETHBTC, this one.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not public and will probably never be public. It's something I've worked on for a very long time, and it's my edge. So yeah.
Jess got a lot of indicators that I don't even have access to. I just use him. Very useful though. Do you want to jump into what do we got next? Do you see a rising wedge and ETH USD thoughts? I think Ethereum's going to go to $200 in my opinion, but how we get there's question.
Yeah, I mean, there is this rising wedge pattern that you can spot, and that's definitely one of the reasons why I'm not too fond of long ETH USD. It might indicate that, you know, we fake out of that wedge to the upside, and then ETH USD is just going to dump with BTC USD, as BTC USD at some point is going to get exhausted. I mean, we cannot go up forever on BTC USD. I'm still bull on BTC USD, but that might flip within a day.
Yeah.
So that's why we're trading ETHBTC. One last one.
Yeah, let's jump. We can do one last one.
All right, you do it.
Have you guys ever looked at Scroll token? I have not. I'm not familiar with Scroll token.
I have no clue.
I
I got traumatized by the bear market, guys. I trade less and less shit coins.
I'll jump. Yeah, honestly, me too. To be honest, recently there really hasn't been, as far as altcoins, there hasn't been anything I've been looking at. But if I am looking at something specifically, I'm looking at the USD pair more than anything. You know, if you're looking at an altcoin right now, peg the BTC. I mean, BTC just went on a run from 3K to 6K, guys. So looking at the BTC pair probably isn't the best thing to look at. Look at the USD pair before, you know, adjusting your charts and going forward. So that's my advice for you guys. But here, looking at Litecoin, I'm actually genuinely bearish on Litecoin. I'm not, you know, spot short or anything of such. But I want to show you something that, you know, this is, in my opinion, this is a high time frame bearish. Litecoin was the first one to move more than anything else. I think Litecoin and then Bitcoin Cash, I believe. So what I'm looking at here, you know, we're kind of breaking down here. I expect some support here, and I'm looking for a bounce back, right? Back in this region to EQ. There's just a weekly block here that we actually breached, kind of a breaker now. I'm looking for any bounce in price. I'm looking to short this bad boy, and I'm going to take this, you know, it's going to be a high time frame play, and I'll be targeting this guy down here at 10,200.
This thing is going to retrace, and it's going to retrace
so hard. And you know, this is one of those. Litecoin is one of those that's going to, like I said, it's a high time frame play. It's going to take some time to actually develop.
And that's why I'm so bullish on ETHBTC, because there's not a single major except out of ADA that really looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, if you got all the time in the world, this is one that, you know, I'm looking for a bounce back to price in this region, potentially hit this equilibrium at 16,114. If not, you know, I'm gonna take this, you know, this bad boy down, man. This doesn't look the best. There's some weakness here, and that's what I'm looking at on Litecoin.
That sounds great, man. Yeah, like a quick note for our watchers, our viewers. If next time you're watching, please let us know your request at the beginning of the stream so we can kind of plan around it. Usually we try to limit our streams to 30 minutes. We're already 12 minutes past those 30 minutes. So if you kind of like come up with your chart request at the end of the stream, it's a bit of pain in the ass to then add another like hour because we don't have that much time on it during our day. So let's do one request. You pick one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. I mean, like XLM, I'm looking at XLM on my other computer right now, just real quick without looking up at a chart. I traded XLM on that quick swing, but this thing's coming down to 1475 or 1475 without a question, in my opinion. As far that's pegged to BTC. Let's see on OMG.
Ooh, here's your entry, bro, on ETH. Woohoo!
I know. I need. Here comes a swing failure.
I think we need to wrap. I think we need to wrap up and start trading.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I likewise. I need to. Here comes a little swing failure right here on the daily on Bitcoin.
Yep. All right. Well, guys, sorry, that was it for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Take care, guys.
Take care. Peace. Let's see. How do I?